Greetings, people. We are back again for another Real Talk forum.
Right on, man. How you been?
I've been good, man. I've been good. Still the end of the rainy season, but like even now it's not raining, and hopefully we're gonna be out of it after this weekend.
I hope so, man.
Beach, right?
I got the beach tomorrow. I hope so. You know.
Yeah, I think you're gonna be okay.
Think so, huh? Yeah.
Think so.
Thanks for the optimism.
Wish I could go, but hopefully I'll be on the next one.
Yeah. Right on. So what's the deal then? What are you doing tomorrow? Because tomorrow's C Day. It's a holiday. You working?
Yeah, it's a C Day. I got a bunch of appointments. I got to do some teaching, some counseling, do what I do.
Yeah.
On the side, but like I said, I deal with good people. I'm dealing with some teenage students. One guy he's getting ready to go back to Switzerland, and so I'm helping him with certain aspects of his international life.
Right.
I like dealing with the young folks. I like dealing with anybody who's trying to do something, up and coming. You know what I mean? Trying to make something of themselves. So spirits come together.
Yes. All right. Yeah, indeed. The food truck is making its way over here.
The food truck, yes. So have we decided on a name?
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be
Drum roll.
Fork in the Road.
Fork in the Road.
Fork in the Road. We kind of moved away from the gods and goddesses, but I will say forks are represented by Set, the Egyptian god Set, and Hecate, or Maman Bridget, any fork in the road goddess, or any not goddess, but any god dealing with the pathways that split, usually into three. So and of course, obviously, fork, food, and in the road, we're a food truck. So that is how we got the name. Okay,
so that's the name. But what's there's going to be some imagery, right, as far as a symbol?
Yeah, we're working on the logo right now. Yeah, I'm definitely trying to put Hecate in there.
Okay, and I was trying to set you up to make you say Hecate because ta-da, I wore my Hecate charm.
All right, flip it around. Yeah, that's her. That's one of them. Yeah.
It's the one that was in your book. Remember, I was the one you showed me you emailed me, and I was like, "Yo, that's Hecate." When I knew it was a goddess, it has the womb energy, if you can see in the middle. So I was just like, and has like these jewels that Jerry Miller made. They have the orgone energy, the stones. So I'm wearing them for protection, and it's a good looking piece, but we always go into the deeper level of things.
Right.
But this is Hecate, so yeah, man, we want to run with that.
Hell yeah, triple goddess. You know what I'm saying? And stick with the mother energy. I feel the other feminine energy right now in this day and time is getting a little, it's getting a little homosexual. We had
so wait a minute. So homosexual energy is female energy?
No, actually, the female energy is being used right now in a very homosexual way, to me. And what I mean by that is, when we were thinking of names, I was really trying to name it after a woman or an energy of a woman, like femme fatale, prima donna, and the names still sound actually cool to me. They sound tight, but this day and time, if I name the truck prima donna, I'm sure a guy's gonna come up and be like, "Ooh, prima donna, huh?" Or, "Oh, femme fatale," and really, it sounds kind of, toxic masculine or whatever that you want to call it, but we have to draw lines in the sand nowadays, what I'm saying? And I have to make sure my line is drawn. I get confused, like people get confused with me often because I'm nicer than I seem on camera, but you be taking advantage of niceness, man.
Okay, but let's talk about this female energy. Why are you interested in using female goddess energy in the first place?
I definitely try to, me being a man, try to work with female energy more than man energy anyway. But and goddess, the goddess, and the whole, when you name things, it just sounds better to name them with women names. You have a guitar, What was the big nigga's name? The blues man. Most famous blues singer. I can't even remember his name right now. Damn.
Muddy Waters?
Not Muddy Waters. After him, Lucille. His guitar's name is Lucille. B.B. King.
B.B. King, yeah.
And
Lucille. Yep.
Instead of calling it like Mark or Tyrone or something like that, you name it after a female. And also, I work with a lot of women. So I wanted them to see that, it's the balance. Most of the workers are men anyway, so.
Yeah, the workers are men, and I think I've heard you say before, and I can attest to it for myself as well, is just throughout our lives, you just look back and you can just see how many times the female energy, the energy through a female has held you down, has supported you in your times of need. Not saying that women don't do negative things and all that stuff, but I'm just saying in our individual lives, I can sincerely say when I've been in trouble, other than my real road dogs who are dudes, it's always, there'll be a random woman, you know what I'm saying, that will step out of nowhere and hook a brother up, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, women have been very, I don't want to say nice, because that sounds kind of like,
nice is the worst words to me now.
Yeah, but that's the energy that's been very prevalent in both of our lives, and I think especially yours.
Yeah, definitely, no doubt. Yeah, all thanks and praise to the goddess, triple goddess, and that's the other thing, triple goddess, not Father, Son, Holy Ghost, but Mother, Daughter, Holy Nature, Spirit, Mother. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm looking at it like. You know what I'm saying? If I go to heaven and I see a whole lot of dudes and naked boys flying around, I know I'm in the wrong place. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to have it.
Okay, all right. I think enough said on that. What are we going to talk about today? It kind of goes with what we were just talking about.
Yes.
Or actually, I don't know. I don't know how Sterlyn feels about it, but I finally started writing the introduction to the book Modern Japan Decoded, and I'm really just trying to come up with the theme and making sure that I have the basis, the foundation of the book correct, because this book is not going to be for everyone. This book, well, of course, I'm in the business of book sales, so I want people to buy the book, but I have to be honest, because in this day and age, the way the narrative is being brought to us or carted out to us with Black people, they put Black people in front of us who don't have Black people's interests at heart. It's really, really important for me to talk to a certain segment of people. And after I kept on, I was saying, making the difference between gaijin and gaikokujin, which there is, but in today's age, when you talk to people, they're going to conflate the two. So I'm going to explain the two in the book, because I can say that this is being taught to gaikokujin. I'm talking to gaikokujin. I'm talking to Black people, really. And then how close you are to that is how much you'll be able to take from the book. What's the difference? The difference is there's a lot of not a lot, there's more than a few people in Japan that have productions, writers, video makers who are Black, who talk about Black things. Some of them, I guess, they put out some good stuff. Well, let me not say something like, shout out to Ronzo, he puts out some good stuff. He shows a lot of aspects that nobody would ever know, Black people doing things in Japan that surprise people. But the overwhelming abundance of Black people that I know who are putting things out, and I'm only talking about the ones that talk about Black stuff now.
Right. Not just not any technical skill or something like that. We're talking about Black.
Some of them actually put out, they will actually they'll talk about some, I guess you could say, controversial topics like racism or something like that, but they'll only go so far. They'll only go so far, and you can almost feel like they're, I don't know, I don't want to, let me not even speculate as what it is, but they'll only go so far. And that, however far they'll go, if they go further than that, the rug's going to get pulled from underneath them, because their platform, in the end of the day, rests on the foundation of white supremacy and racism.
There it is.
And so if a black writer, whoever he is or she is, if they're not willing to say that the black woman is God, the black man is God, the trinity of you said your trinity, or the other trinity of the man, the woman, and the child.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If that's not a representative of God at the highest level, and then after that it trickles down, then you have a certain level where your chain can be pulled.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we're segueing and talking about your boy, or my boy.
Yeah, I'm about to say, whose boy you talking about? Yeah.
Nick Cannon.
Yeah.
You know, Nick
shout
Cannon.
Shout outs to Nick Cannon.
Griff.
Yep, Professor Griff for sure. Shout outs. Professor Griff.
I've been seeing a lot of talk going back and forth about his apology, about his show. Did you get a chance to check out the interview?
I did not check out the interview, not the one that he did with, I thought he took it down, and then I just noticed today that, it looks like it's up. So I think it's going down and up. Okay.
Because I watched it, I started watching, I said, let me just watch the interview. So I watched it. Mm-hmm. Then when I started watching one of the videos with either Griff or maybe with Brother Rich, and they were like, no, it's been taken down. And then later on my page, I saw, it was like, on YouTube, when you have the recommendations, and then it was taken down on there. It was like removed. Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's going back and forth.
You do me a favor. Let me give me the permission to share my screen.
Okay.
Just in case. For all the Japanese listeners that are out there, the bilingual Japanese listeners, every once in a while they want to know, who are you talking about, and what are you doing? We haven't really posted a lot of the things we need to post. We're not very good at making these videos yet, but in the meantime, I'll just share the screen every once in a while so you can get a view of who to look up, what we're talking about. Okay. We don't have to go through the whole story, but just in case, I know a lot of people who do watch American news, stuff like that. So this is Nick Cannon here. Okay, it's all up in Japanese now. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah, you want to get that picture with that turban.
Yes. Yeah, the Nick Cannon what we know today is this right here. I just wanted to make sure you got his name.
On his show, he normally wears a turban.
Right.
Some sort of Moorish headdress.
Yes. Yeah, he got a lot of shows actually. Oh, there goes my man when he was young. Hey, he looked like he looked like the Wayne's brother. What's the Wayne's brother? The one who's always he's in the Scary Movie and all that. Not Marlon, the other one.
Yeah, the young guy.
I think
he used to be young. Sean, yeah. He ain't young no more. The one that was in Above the Rim.
Yeah, he might have been in that. Yeah, it's always him and Marlon.
Yeah,
Wayne's brothers. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, about it, man. Like again, this is all the more reason why I said with the whole homosexual energy with the food truck. It's nothing against homosexuality, nothing like that. But the lines do have to be drawn. As far as I'm concerned, like the lines in the sand have to be drawn now. And when you say things like going so far, only you should only go so far, that's a person whose line hasn't been drawn in the sand yet. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay, I don't want people to get confused because you put his face up there, then you start talking about gay stuff. So we're not saying. Are you saying that Nick has anything to do with being gay?
No.
Okay.
But the whole I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I mean more of the beta world really coming into effect. The beta world.
Hey, fix the screen, man. We got your financial stuff up here.
Oh, it says fiance. So we're watching this thing called 90 Day Fiance.
Oh, it's fiance, not financial. I'll just look real quick. I thought it was
the whole beta, the world of the beta is coming in now, and it's a double-sided thing. Everybody thinks they can do both sides. They can play both sides of the fence. And right now, like you just said, when you get your nigga wake up call or you get the rug pulled from under you, you get caught out there like Nick did. He got his show taken from him, right? Viacom.
And I'm sure it was a lot more. Yeah, that's what we saw happen. But I'm sure the conversation they had when they threatened him you know, broke him down. I'm sure that they threatened him with a whole. They probably have pictures of him. They probably got stuff of him that he don't even know they have. You know, because see that's the whole point. And the reason for me I wanted to bring this up is because to me, Nick Cannon represents the black people in Japan. And I would say the strong side of him, like, because Nick Cannon is you know, he ain't no joke. I mean, he's talented, he's a good-looking brother, he's intelligent. You know, he's making moves. So this is not some beat down on Nick thing, but it's like, just like in the hood, when you slip and fall, brother's gonna be there, not necessarily to jeer you for no reason, but to let you know, yo, you know, you slipped up, and we gonna joan on you a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, we gonna clown you a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it go. If you do some corny shit, you know what I'm saying, you gonna get clowned. You know what I'm saying? And once you own up to it and we laugh about it long enough, then it'll go away. I mean, it goes around.
Exactly.
You all get it. So you get that dude when he's down, because you know it's gonna be back on you at some point. You know, none of us are perfect, man. You know what I'm saying? So for me, when I look at Nick Cannon, even when he first started coming up, I was surprised when he started doing his conscious stuff, because I had to really go into my memory. I was like, oh yeah, he the Nickelodeon kid. You know, I'm older than him, you know what I'm saying? So to me, I remember the little kid smiling and grinning on Nickelodeon, and I'm like, oh, so now he a rapper, now he doing this, you know? And I'm like, I'm not hating on it, but I still, it just was like, okay. So for me personally, I'm not surprised for him to see him do that. Why? Because he came up on their platform. See, compare him to somebody like Zoe Williams.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't, Zoe Williams has a show. He's the voice of reason. He's another guy that I really check out. He's very intelligent. I would be more surprised to see him fold on something like that, because why? Because his platform is built on him being conscious. He didn't change. Like when he became the guy he is now, this is who he was. He's developed. He's more advanced. But Nick was, he was doing. So I'm like, oh, now you think you could just get over here and start talking conscious?
Yeah, the whole Mariah Carey thing, all that. Yeah.
He even says it in the interview with Griff. He's like, well, Griff, how come they haven't come at me? I'm allowed to be up on here doing stuff like that, and no one said nothing to me.
Oh, he did say that, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I think that probably is what really got them people like, whoa, he
brought it to us like that.
Kind of, yeah, like he got us in check, like, you know what I'm saying? That, I think that had to be one. I didn't hear anybody bring that up though.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
Yeah, you want to say something?
No, I was just gonna say that's a really good point on. You meet a lot of, I call them HBCU cats, the brothers and sisters that have all the degrees, and they have prestigious teaching careers out here, or just anybody around the world who's black. And you think that it's almost like when I talk to cats like that about the whole white supremacy, what it really is, what everything that you've built yourself up on is based off of their power structure still. That's where the again, that line gets drawn, where they're like, it's almost like they're trying to say it's better now. It has nothing to do with that anymore. We don't need to worry about that. And I'm like, are you sure? Are you serious? Like, you think that? And even in Japan, like, Japanese are only gonna let you go so far. You're not gonna just start doing whatever you want anytime.
Right. There's a ceiling. There's a ceiling, my brother. Yeah.
And you're talking as if like it's just no. You just don't get it. I'm like, yeah, you clearly are jaded. Or not jaded. They think I'm jaded, but they still sleep. They haven't gotten their wake up call yet.
Well, and not only that, they know the ceiling is there, and they're willing to live with that. It's just like the guy said on Jason Black's show, when Jason Black broke him all the way down, when he was talking about and he was saying all the advancements we made in civil rights, and he was like, I forgot how exactly. I don't want to mess up the little back and forth, but Jason Black was like, so you have to take an ass whooping. Taking an ass whooping is part of this come up, of us coming up. And he was like, and he got him caught up in that duck season, rabbit season shit. He was like, yeah, it's part of it. And I had to really take my hat off to Jason Black. He was like, well, I don't have anything to say to that.
Nothing else to say, yeah.
Because if you think so, for those of you who think taking an ass whooping is part of what's supposed to happen by these white supremacists, then you need to go that way. I'm talking about the riders, the people who have a certain level of dignity, and that's what I'm talking about. And the way I'm going to write this book, because the book is a survival manual. I'm not trying to be the historian. I'm going to talk about some historical facts in order to preface what I'm talking about. But I'm not coming before you as I'm Dr. Tak. I'm coming before you as a writer and as a Black Japanese man who has, I gotta say, extensive experience in Japan. And when I say extensive, I can even say the word dabble. I've had the opportunity to do a number of things, whereas like that one dude, the guy who's talking about obeying the rules, he talking about, I've been teaching at this school for 20 years. And I'm sure in 20 years you could tell me a few things about working at a school.
Back up. Who said obey the rules?
I'm sorry?
Back up. Who said obey the rules?
Remember that one dude who we gave our success stories in the one video about kicking the kid out the room, and his whole rhetoric to me was like, oh, that's against the rules. And he was like, and even when I kept on showing him, no, but this brother Sterlyn gave you a success story. I gave you a success story. You ain't got nothing but rhetoric.
Yeah.
And but he was like, he finally because he didn't want to just capitulate totally. He was like, well, I just wanted to say, I wanted people to hear just to make sure that they know that that's against the rules. And it's like, yo, so you said all of that so that you can make this one point. No, all of your other points got broken down, and you just can't say okay. No, okay, well, this is what I was saying the whole time. No, you weren't. You were saying a whole bunch more shit that got shot down. And again, the rules, back to that, if you a Black person bang all the rules are going to put you in the last seat, in the back of the bus. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. But I don't want to get thrown. I ain't already lost what I was talking about.
Well, really. Well, bringing it up with how the cats that are out here remind you of Nick Cannon.
Yeah, they remind me of Nick Cannon because, again, a lot of them are those same kind of guys. They, I'm talking about the dude in the 20 year thing. He been in the school for 20 years, but I bet you he's still in an entry level position. They could hire a dude next year to take his job.
Right, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? So number one, are you advancing, or you came in at the ceiling? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking. If you're willing to do that, to me, that's capitulating. You're going to just get talked to like an entry level dude every year. Your responsibilities don't increase, even if your salary does. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, how do you live like that? And in the book, that's what I'm trying to go at, because when you're here for a length of time, I mean, well, we know about the I would say not what do you call it? We know about the dudes that stay in the house all the time.
Hikikomori.
The hikikomori, or the jisatsu, the suicide rates real high. We know about they got terms like karoshi, where people just kill themselves because they're getting bullied or they're having problems at work. These are things that are not just isolated in Japan, but are very special in Japan to the point where they're like Japanese culture now. Right. So you don't think if you live here as a non-Japanese and they're gonna otherize you, these mental mechanisms, this mental sickness is gonna be thrust on you too. Yes. If not as much more. So who's out here talking about being able to sidestep that? I ain't read that book yet. That's what this is. Right on, man. I mean, what about you ain't got to go through it. How do I sidestep that? But it's going to take a certain basis, and that's why I asked you, what do you think the 4 biggest things are? Just in terms of what you need to master in order to navigate through Japanese society. And one of them, and this is the one that most people, because it might be a trick question, it's because it's not dealing with Japan at all. It has to deal with you. And if you don't have a certain knowledge of self, if you don't have a certain dignity level, then what I'm saying in the book is only going to apply to you at best partially, because everything I'm going to say, it comes from you knowing that who you are, and you know what you bring to the table. And if you don't know that you're God, if you don't know that you're goddess, then you're going to disagree with certain things. So if you don't think you're God or you're goddess, you don't need to email me and tell me you disagree. You don't need to get on the video and show your ass and none of that shit, because I ain't talking to you. But if you do find some stuff in there, I'm happy for you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to say, I'm black, I'm melanin rich. Of course you're welcome. Of course you're welcome, but you're not welcome to speak.
Right.
Come on and sit in the room and you can take in, we got some donuts and stuff.
I can sit back.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But you can't get up on the stage. You know what I'm saying? This is only for the melanin, the melanin richest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that book, man. The 4 things is funny. The whole the corona thing and kind of threw me off today. I went to I had a school today, and they had I guess a case of corona, or a suspicious case of corona, and he sent us home early. You know what I'm saying? So I haven't really I didn't think clearly about the 4 things, but what I would say one of them is kind of what you just said. You need to know who you are, and really when Japanese talk to you, know that they're trying to categorize you in a very general category. You know what I mean? You kind of have to kind of be on the balance of not trying to over explain everything to them, but make sure that when they're talking to you, you're like, yo, you know, you're talking to just me. You know, yeah, but I thought Americans, like, I don't know anything about America, so no. Like, oh, but in Canada, like, you're from Canada, right? Like, yeah, but I don't even think about Canada when I'm thinking about this. I'm not going to talk about Canadians. I'm talking about what I think, and that alone gives them, like, now you've created your own world around you, where when they come to you, they have to kind of acquiesce to your world. They have to join your world now, and yes, it's a world of one, population one. You know what I'm saying?
You got to get them to talk. You're right. You got to get them to address you because you're absolutely right. Because it starts with the otherization of you're just not us, and then the most specific it gets is, okay, African, American, Brazilian, and Brazilian, whether you black or you white, it's all the same. If you black in America, for example, if you American, that means you eat hot dogs and hamburgers. You watch whatever the most popular, like I remember like when Friends was the big thing. I mean, I ain't never watched not one episode. Really? They almost don't, they think I'm lying.
Right.
I'm like, to this day, I have never watched Friends. I tried to watch one. I couldn't even watch. I watched like the first couple minutes and was like, it wasn't even like it sucked. I was doing other stuff. I just was like, what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? I wasn't even looking. I can't name one character. You know what I'm saying? But so to them, really that means you're not American. You're because Americans do this. And so I go with that. So yes, I mean, I lived in America, you could say now at this point, I don't know if it's even the majority of my life, but a significant portion of my life, to the point where yes, brothers in America, those are my dogs, those are my people, and yeah, I'm down. But if for a Japanese person to call me, no, because I know what you think. Right.
And so when they ask me that, when they do that, when they say, well, what about your nation? What about the nation? What about your country? I'm like, okay, if that's what you want to talk about, because I'm not going to make it like a fantasy world to them where it's just too far of a jump for them to understand on a sovereign mind level. So it's better to say, what I do is I just say, okay, well, if that's what you're talking about, then you're talking about being black. I'm black. So black people just don't do this. And black people do, you're like Americans, I'm not American, black people. Black people don't. So black people don't watch Friends. I never watched Friends. Like, why? I thought Americans watched it. I'm like, they do, but black people don't watch it. And I'm like, you know what I watched, and this is true. I watched Living Single. Shout outs to Living Single, the show Living Single, which is where supposedly Friends was copied from. So I'm like, well, if you want to watch, because you know they always try to bring the show and talk about it. I'm like, you can talk about that. Have you tried watching Living Single yet? And like, no, I don't really get it. I don't think I can understand. I'm like, yeah, me too. I can't understand Friends. When I hear it, I don't know what they're talking about. It's too white. But I understand that you have a white dialect. I have black dialect, and it really throws them off. You know what I'm saying?
And you're saying this to Japanese people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because and I definitely do that. Like whenever they say American, I say, okay, stop. When you say American, you mean white people.
Mm-hmm.
And I might have to say it 2 or 3 times. But whenever they say, I'm like, okay, you mean white people. And you know what's funny? The first time it gets them, but Japanese people inherently are very, I don't want to say kubetsu, like a cat, they categorize.
Discriminatory? Yeah.
Sabetsu is more like discriminatory. That's why, like when I say, I'm trying not to say in a necessarily negative way, but it's like you're them and we're us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And they're them over there, and they're all. But for Japanese, everybody's different than us.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you go into it, yeah, it has a negative connotation.
No,
but
it wasn't even that. It's not even that. It's just that in English, discrimination has such a bad nuance to it now. But actually,
you're right.
Discriminatory doesn't have. It's not supposed to have a negative connotation. So that what Todd just pointed out, he said kubetsu, which is like to discriminate or to analyze, to break two things, to categorize them, separate them out.
Yeah.
And then sabetsu is racist, basically, or bigotry. You know,
like
a
negative bias.
Yeah.
Involved.
And it's just hard sometimes. Like I find that I see that too. The weight of words in English is just so race based. You know, it's just in the culture.
Yeah, and but for those of you who don't know, black teachers out there, you can definitely you can talk about the white-black divide, but what it is just, again, and this is one of the things about saving face. That's another one of the aspects of mastering the culture. It's what you do here, and even if you don't like white people, let's just say you don't, but if you don't come off like that, like those crackers or those, no, I'm not talking about doing that.
Right.
I'm just saying there's a difference.
Right.
And if you talk about it just the same way when you talk about sports or anything like that, Japanese will check you for a second, but once they see you're doing that, they'll come freely with their shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's when you find out what they really think about Chinese people and Korean people a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I definitely recommend and I encourage, don't be afraid, because if you're afraid to bring up the difference between black and white, what you're really saying is you're ashamed of your culture.
That's number 2 right there, being ashamed of your culture. That I think that there is usually when I do my coon analysis to see who I think is going to be, who's actually a coon or not, is you come to me with that whole, we're all together. Why don't we all come together? Like it has nothing to do with that. Okay. You know, we're all different races, but we should all come together. I'm like, okay, that kind of rhetoric is already proof of being a coon, because the system of white supremacy doesn't allow any of that to happen. You have to stand up for your own group and get yours. That's just what it is. You know, the world you're talking about doesn't exist until the world that we live in now ceases to exist. So what are you talking about?
And no one else has that policy. It's only implemented for black people.
Yeah.
Everyone else is down for theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Even the LGBT, they're down for theirs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They ain't caping for nobody else. They're trying to get theirs for theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Italian people, they're trying to get theirs for theirs. Chinese people, all this Chinatown, if they don't hire you because you're black, I couldn't get a job in there. It's Chinatown. Oh, everybody, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
But black people are the only ones who they're like, no, you have to be inclusive. Where's even the voting thing? There's all these special things. Black people have to vote, but I don't ever hear any push for Polish people voting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why do black people have to vote? Why is it so important for us to vote?
Mm-hmm.
For us, because they need our participation. You know what I'm saying? That they need our hearts, our minds, they need our spirit, they need our energy.
Okay,
and
yeah.
And if you just try to withdraw the energy, they'll label you a terrorist.
Yes. That's the biggest, and that's another proof of Western, that whole voting thing. is so meaningless in Japan. You know what I'm saying? They actually think it's kind of funny. They're like, because I'm like, I say it to them all the time, even the older Japanese. I'm like, if the government in Japan fell right now, like, what would change? And they're like, nothing. I'm like, yeah, you don't even need it. You just have the government because everybody else got a government, but you don't need it out here because you all work together. You have your own place. You have your own language, your own code. To me, that whole voting is just a big Ponzi scheme as far as I'm concerned. And you'll know it if you can leave the country and see it from the outside in. And when you're saying the foreigners out here, the gaijin, black gaijin out here who be talking about voting, even being out here and seeing it from the outside in, I'm like, yeah, you're a cop out. You're copping out. You're trying to make it abstract. The overturn of white supremacy, or just getting yours, or being down for just your people. You're just throwing all that out the window when you're talking about that. So the whole Nick Cannon thing. I was gonna ask you. There was another one. That John Lewis cat. He died.
Yeah.
You know, R.I.P. to
John Lewis.
Well, it seems like he was like one of them civil rights activists who just got beat up a lot. And
he was, but his job was he was a congressman. That's what his
okay, he was a congressman. Okay.
Congressman, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And you know, again, unless you're bringing up the voting thing, really, he didn't do anything, as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't sound like he did anything. And again, just talking about the vote. You don't talk about money. Nobody talks about power. Nobody talks about anything but this thing we're supposed to do once every couple of years. But
no, and it's just ridiculous, like getting on the John Gates thing. Black congressman over 30 years, and when you talk about his accomplishments, you want to talk about he got a whole bunch of people registered to vote. And Jason Black, and that's what the debate was on that show. He breaks down how he had nothing to do with it, really, because I don't even want to get into the back and forth. But even if he did, which Jason Black also said, he's like, even if he got all these black people, if he did all that with the voting, who did they have to vote for? Like, what was the effect? So all these people got voted, and then who did they vote for? And from that, what changed for black people? There's never a concrete answer. It's all this, like you said, abstract bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like this voting, they get you your energy and caught up in all of this stuff that doesn't, not even really, it doesn't matter at all. You know, it doesn't matter at all. But this is just what the rhetoric is. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, it's all about getting likes and your stuff getting shared and going viral. That is a type of currency today. So
are you out to change the world in any kind of way?
Oh, like I said, I remember when I used to be. And I realized, like I said, through study and everything, I realized it's not about changing the world. It's not about changing the world. And I can go in a lot of aspects of that, but what it is it's about seeing the world for what it is and being able to make adjustments within yourself so that you can do what? According to the ancient scriptures, it's talking about your heart being as light as a feather. You know what I'm saying? So if you get George Floyd, fuck you, like, yeah, that your heart getting heavy, B. Your heart getting heavy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, let's just say he was your relative. I'm not saying you don't even get some or get some retribution or whatever. But even when you do that, like when they talk about the samurai who, you know, in this story where a woman spits in her face, they were there to kill all the villagers.
Yes. Yeah.
And she spit in his face and he didn't kill her because they were like, why? Because if I kill her now, I'm gonna be killing her from my ego, I'm gonna be killing her from my anger. And no, I'm just here following orders. It's not personal. You know, he understood his heart. He was like, no, I can't kill you from that. You know what I'm saying? Because my heart is gonna be heavy from that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's on all of that. You know, it's like what really matters here. What are you really here for? And when you, like I said, this goes back to knowing the black man is God, black man is goddess. If you, like I said, and we're gonna get deep, and I know a lot of people ain't gonna follow it, but if you start talking about we are the originators, everything comes from us, then that means there was nothing before there was black people. So you have to understand, why did we have to come into this body? Why? Because you came down here to face some sort of challenge that is tailor-made for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's why your challenge is different than my challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Is different than person C's challenge.
So
everybody has a challenge.
Then changing the social status or people who are out there fighting for rights and all that other stuff, you think it's a waste of time?
Well, you'd have to go in person by person who's doing what. I can't say each and every person that's out there doing that struggle, they're just simply wasting their time. That maybe that's what they came here to do. They came here to be in some sort of struggle. You know, it's not for me to say. You know what I'm saying? But the whole program, the generalization of voting, the generalization of getting an economic plan, all of that stuff, none of that stuff in the end of the day is gonna be the difference. 2 words for that. All that talk right there to me is coping mechanism. And you're sitting there trying to you're sitting there making a big illusion for yourself that you know purposely that you can't get out of. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you're supposed to be exercising and you're like, but I got a lot of things to do today. You're like, you always have a lot of things to do. Why are you even saying that when it's time to exercise? And it keeps coming up. And you don't just say because I'm lazy. You're like, no, I'm busy. I got things to do. And I'm like, yeah, you stay busy. You stay busybody just so you can avoid the elephant in the room or the thing that you're supposed to be looking at, you know? And when it comes down to everybody coming together and we should all be one people and all that, I'm like, yeah, it's all coping mechanisms. We already know all that. You know what I'm saying? That's the ultimate goal for everybody and everything. It hasn't happened yet. It probably never will, but let's just say it does. It's not going to happen today. So when you see people who look like they're actively trying to change the world, again, shout outs to Nick Cannon on his show. I don't understand why you went that far, and now he supposedly got a rabbi coming on his show next time. Really?
Yeah, and I checked that on the Breakfast Club. They mentioned that they're already previewing his show where he's gonna have one of the rabbis that he talked to, and I heard a clip of it, and it basically sounds like he's agreeing that the rabbi, he's like, yeah, we're all trying to work together, aren't we? And yes we are. And you know, the things I said, do you think I'm anti-Semitic? He's like, at this moment, no, I don't. And he's like, good, because I know I'm okay with the Jewish community, but it sounds like he's still apologizing. So it's like he's bringing it back to being Nickelodeon. You know what I'm saying? It's kid-friendly activism.
And you know what? I don't want to prejudge before I get to see that.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, and this was another one of the points I made when I watched various people talk about the Nick Cannon Professor Griff situation or interview, is that because he apologized and he said things like he was ashamed of whatever, and it's like, but when you watch other people, when I watched the interview, I'm like, did you say something that wasn't true? And if you said something that wasn't true and one of these rabbis pulled your coattail to that, and you were like, oh, I didn't know that, and they came with receipts, and you're like, oh, that was not true, and that was some defamation to Jewish people. If he apologized for that, I would shake his hand for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I said this in front of a whole bunch of people. I was wrong. I was proven I was wrong. And that's not just how I don't get down like that. I don't care what y'all think. That's being a man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But in the apology, when he's talking about that, he's I did it. And I had a sit down with a series of rabbis and stuff, but never did he offer any information about what was wrong. Because even if you were wrong, you came before us, Canon's class. You're supposed to be schooling us. And you got some information and you're not going to tell us what it is, but you want us to sit here and act like what you did was not selling out. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, which is it? Which is it?
You got to
stay consistent. Be consistent with your theme. You're supposed to be schooling us, so you're saying you got schooled. Tell us what happened. Don't tell us, well, this guy said this stuff and I felt ashamed and I'm really, really sorry. And and the thing that really, really bothered me, and I finally heard somebody say about it, because when I first saw his apology, I didn't know what he was talking about, because he was talking about some interview he had with some guy named Richard Griffin.
Yeah, that was weird. I had to look that up. I was like, is that a comedian or something?
Well, yeah, right. I put it together because Griff.
Yeah.
But I didn't even know Griff's name was before that. His because he was a Richard X something before. You know what I'm saying? So I never heard him called Richard Griffin before, and it was like it's clear that one of these Jewish people wrote the apology.
Yeah.
It's clear that he didn't write that. You know what I'm saying? And for him to co-sign on something some other man, like even if I offended you,
yeah,
and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get on the air and apologize. I'm not gonna let you write the apology because if I'm sorry, it should come from my heart.
Right.
It's not even that what you wrote might even be on point, and I might take what you wrote and just rewrite it. Mm-hmm. But it's gotta be my words if it's my apology.
Right.
Right? How am I going? It's your apology. Then I ain't apologizing. That's me just reading some shit that you wrote.
Yeah.
That's defeating the purpose.
Yep. If I may, just real quick, just one last time, the screen share. This was, I remember just now. I remember Dame Dash, cat right here. This one, the Dame Dash apologized to Jay-Z and Liar Cohen. I called him Liar Cohen by accident, but Freudian slip. Liar Cohen. I don't even spell it. I remember though.
Hey, I remember where you wanted to be.
Right, and I remember Dame Dash was talking real big on the Breakfast Club and all these other shows, saying he's a cheat, he's a liar, and talking real, real brolic. And then all of a sudden, on this, he was in this video over to the right here, in like a military uniform. He had these white guys in the background. You see them with their arms crossed.
Yeah. And
they were all sitting there, and he's sitting there apologizing, saying, "I'm very sorry to what I said about both of them. I hope we can all be friends." And I was like, "Yo, what happened to him?" You know what I'm saying? And then months later, he's back talking big again, like he always is. And I'm like, "Yo, I don't understand why these celebrities keep doing this to themselves. Like they really, what is it? Like the head gets blown up. Like they really think that they're untouchable or something. Like I would think if I got into this.
Let me say this. Well, the fact that even when I heard people talking about it, they were bringing up Martin Luther King. They were bringing up Malcolm X, Dick Gregory, as people who got, who got thrown under the bus and stood on things that they said. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these people got killed. Dick Gregory got ousted in the 60s. Dick Gregory was the #1 black entertainment. He made more money than Cosby and all the rest of them cats.
Damn, more than Cosby.
Yeah, he was #1. He was #1, and he sacrificed that because he was like, I got to say what I got to say. But even when they were talking about it, it took a while for people to say, but you ain't even got to go back there because he was having an interview with Griff. Professor Griff, for those that don't know, when he made statements back in '89, when Public Enemy was really making noise, and he got ousted, ostracized, they tried to kill him, poison him, they burnt his house down.
Yeah, remember that?
He's had numerous assassination attempts. So that's why, because Nick Cannon had interviews with Joy DeGruy, with who else?
KRS-One.
KRS-One.
Yeah.
People, but all these people were dropping like mad knowledge, nothing deeper than what was going on here. But Professor Griff has the portfolio, he has the records, and once them two lined up, that was like whoa, and they pulled his chain. And what I'm trying to say is that Professor Griff is a guy. His life was on the line, and he didn't capitulate.
Right.
And like I said, you can't put Nick Cannon in this class based on his actions. And again, when I look at a lot of the black people in Japan who want to come against, I don't even want to say me, because I'm not anybody really to come against, but come against black thought, black awareness. They are these people. These are these plastic people. These people that have a plastic platform. They're only here on one thing that they're doing. They're willing to have a ceiling above them. You know what I'm saying? And try to talk down to you about some shit, or try to school you on some shit. Motherfucker, you getting clowned at work. You getting called Gaijin and getting called by your first name, and then you want to get up on the platform and try to pretend like you doing something.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Pretend you doing something that's dignified. You know what I'm saying? And trying to get people on that platform. But what I'm saying, like I said, in Modern Japan Decoded, we're not talking about being that. We're talking about you coming here and being able to have a dignified state of living and being able to express yourself. Because if you don't do that, you're gonna fall victim of some sort of mental illness. And mental illness is rampant out here. It's rampant around the world, but it's really rampant out here.
Yes.
For all that, Japan is so safe.
Yeah, what did you say about that with the gun and suicide comparison? Remember you said that about the you can put a gate on your door, you can lock your door, you can wear a bulletproof vest, you can protect yourself against a gun. You can get a gun, but how do you protect yourself from suicidal thoughts, tendencies?
From yourself.
From yourself.
How you gonna protect from you? You the bad guy now. You the one talking about, I think I need to I think I'm gonna hurt myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nobody that's gonna be able to protect you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what this is here for, because like I said, it's a slow process. It doesn't start quickly. You meet people, when you see them, they're all gung-ho to be here. You see them like a year and a half later, and they like, I hate Japanese people. This, that, and whatever. All the stuff they're saying is probably true. You know what I'm saying? But and that's what I'm trying to say. But you're taking all of it on, and you don't know how to step any of it because you're believing the narrative that's been presented to you. You know what I'm saying? So this book that we're going to come out with, and I say I'm writing it, but Sterlyn's is he's having his hand in it.
No doubt, yeah.
My boy Maori, you know what I'm saying?
Shout out to
A
Maori.
whole lot of brothers, you know what I'm saying, and Japanese people, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Shout out to all the people that are going to be in the book. I'm going to start saying their names. I don't want to say them right now. And actually, we both got to get out of here.
Yes,
you know
we
what I'm
do.
saying? So look out for Modern Japan Decoded.
Right on.
Shout out to Nick Cannon, Professor Griff. We're not here to slander Nick Cannon,
Not
but
that,
like I said,
yes.
we have to use him for what he's worth in terms of he's a person that's put himself on a platform. And like I said, I think that he represents this beta society, this generation right now.
Beta society. We're going to have to break that down. All right.
On that note,
yes.
RealTalk.jp.
RealTalkEnglish.jp.
All right, man. We out, man.
All right, bro. Check you later.
Yeah, peace.
Peace.